Hello, hello. Hope everybody is having a good day so far. This is week number 2, and I have a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. We're still talking about self care and self talk. So, in particular, I wanted to talk about self talk. I know that I am one of those people that really had a hard time speaking to myself in a positive way. Meaning when anything goes down, because life is life. So when anything goes down, I used to be always the first one saying, well, it was my fault. It was my fault. Either I didn't view something the right way, or I would create something to make it always sound like it was my fault. And I realized through different readings, and there's a book I really want to talk about that is by Chuck Swindoll, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's something about being true to the way you talk to yourself. That's really the gist of it. And I'm going to get a copy of that and really talk about that, because we need to understand that if we talk to ourselves in a negative way, then anything that we do is going to come out negatively. So if you don't believe that things are going to be all right, they're not going to be all right. So it's clear that if you do self-talk in a positive way, your patience level will change. And I say that I'm going to bring myself into this fray. So I'm restoring myself. I'm coming back to Maryland from the Midwest. I was there for 4 years. And of course, when you move to some place, you have to do a few things. Like you have to get a new state driver's license. So I knew I was going to have to do that. And instead of waiting to see when I can get the rest of my things, including certain paperwork that I needed, I rushed. I said, I'm going to get another Social Security card, and I got the form for it, had it filled out, and on the website, it said if you don't have your birth certificate, then the driver's license. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to mail off my driver's license. And the thing also said it would take about 10 days. I said, okay, all right, I can put up with it for 10 days. And, I'll just, it'll just have to work. Well, needless to say, I did that the end of March. By, I would say, the end of February, I reached out to them and they didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, but my driver's license is in there. It was supposed to take 10 days and didn't say anything. Well, here we are in May, 2 months later. And yesterday I walked out of my house and was about to leave, and I saw a package on the steps, and it was from Allentown Road in Suitland, Maryland. And I said, is this my Social Security card? Yes. Took forever, but yes. So I opened it, and it said, we're returning your package because you didn't sign it. I didn't sign the form. Did all this stuff, rushed to try and get. In the meantime, I've been able to go and get my things. So I have everything that I need to get my new driver's license. I didn't really need to go through all that trouble to get the Social Security card. It was a form of impatience. I wasn't willing to sit and wait and let things just happen. just come. Because when you restore, restoration, I was told by one of my sisters who is a therapist. She said that restoration takes up a certain amount of energy in you that you are not really able to get past it until you just allow yourself to get through it. So I got my license back. I still don't have a social security card, but I do have everything that I need to get my driver's license. Hopefully by next week's show, I'll be able to say I have a Maryland driver's license that is ready to use, and that's taken care of. Yeah, it took a while, but it is what it is. So patience. How willing are you to let things just happen and not be so quick to react to them or try to make them happen? If you're a believer like me, a lot of the time I'm busy helping God when he already got stuff taken care of. And truthfully, with the Social Security thing, Suitland, Maryland is not that far from my house. I could have easily made an appointment, went there physically. They would have said, please sign this form. And it would have been taken care of instead of going through the mail, which I don't know about you, but since 2020, actually since before that, but really 2020, COVID was the time that the Postal Service became completely unreliable based on someone's vision of the Postal Service being a business and needing to fix the money problem. So the fix to the money problem was basically slowing down mail. So those of us who need things immediately had to rely on this businessman who decided that he was going to do it his way. There's nothing at this point we can do about it, but just wait or find other ways to get mail through. Because places like things like FedEx still moves well. Actually, the Postal Service, if you get the express mail, if you do express mail, so a day, 2 days, if you get that, they're pretty reliable. It's that regular first class mail that's going to take its time getting where it needs to get to. And that really, I don't know if that bothers you or not, but it bothers me. But I recognize that sometimes there are things that don't need to happen at that time. If you think about the things that you pushed over the years, you pushed to happen, you pushed that relationship to happen, you pushed that job to happen, you pushed these things that you didn't really need in your life. Yes, there are things that you can learn out of everything, even the bad things out of your life. There are things that you can learn. But the reality is, why even put yourself through all that when life is life? It's going to come. It's going to get to where it needs to be, as long as we don't get in the way of it. So, as we're talking about patience, that also relates to your relationships and people that you either work with, work for, that's even driving. I love the DMV, but let me say that the driving, the traffic, oh my goodness, is just amazing. And people get so irritated in traffic. I was driving down the highway and I was coming in a lane that was being merging into the next lane. It wasn't going to happen anymore. It was going away. So I was veering into the next lane. The truck that was right behind me that I was veering in front of blew his horn. And I was like, okay, you're not paying attention to the fact that the lane I'm in is becoming a non-lane. You don't see that? You don't get that? I don't understand. I'm confused. Why are you doing this? Why are you being like this? And I had to remind myself, not everybody is able to just take things as they come. Some people just can't handle that. Some people, they carry impatience like a strong cross that they love to bear. This is what I want to be clear about. If you want to get rid of some of your stress, one of the things that you can do that would be the best for you is let go. Let go. Let go of things that you can't control. Just let go. Stop trying to find out who's at fault. Stop trying to find out who to blame, including yourself. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it right now. It's got to end. We have to be careful, especially we're still in a pandemic. And isn't that interesting that we're in a pandemic life? Here we are when it used to be that coming close to the cicada situation, which I've dealt with twice now, that was supposed to be the biggest thing happening. Nah, that ain't the biggest thing happening anymore. It's this pandemic. It's the fact that we're wearing masks. It's the fact that we're getting vaccinated, got fully vaccinated. Now, I know that some of you are still not fully into the idea of getting vaccinated, and I understand. Yes, it's hard to get how it can happen so fast, but I need you all to know and to understand that there were labs actually working on following the progression of this virus. This virus happened to us and we didn't know, but the scientists, especially, I believe it was the White House that had a department, either a department or a committee, one of the two, that was looking at other viruses in other countries. And there was information that was being shared about COVID a few years ago. But unfortunately, our new administration at the time was not willing to listen to the prior administration. And things started happening and it just fell apart. It just fell apart. So, but anyway, I brought that up because it was in my spirit that things happen sometimes not because of non-knowledge, but because of the willingness to just let it go and let things happen. And however, having the vaccine, having the ability to move through the virus and know that you'll be okay, that is the important thing to understand about the vaccine. The vaccine is not going to get rid of COVID. The vaccine is going to get rid of the deaths, or at least lower them. And that is so important. That's really what we're trying to have at this point. So, what I want you all to see is, oh, and now I'm seeing your comments. Let's see. Snail mail. Yeah, Joyce. Let me say this. All that snail mail. I was always an email person. I've always been an email person. Um, but snail mail I rely on for important things like the Social Security stuff. That, because they don't have a way for you to do it. At least I don't think they have a way for you to do it online. So that hurt my feelings. That that hurt my feelings. But that was my fault. That was my fault. That was my rush to get it done. But the beauty of life is that there's so many things that we can learn from. Instead of making it something and saying it's something that we should be blamed for, or something that we should say put fault on someone. It's a learning experience. Everything you go through is a learning experience. And that is what we need to really focus on. What can you learn from that can make you a better person? What is it? I'm sorry, I'm shifting this thing. Anyway, what is it that we really need to focus on to get to our best self? One of those things is self-talk. So with self-talk, like I said last week, I was talking about vision boards. Well, another thing that I did was I actually looked at myself in the mirror. Have you ever gone up to a mirror and actually looked at your face? Look at your face. I remember in high school, actually when I was about 12, acne set in. Oh my goodness. It was itchy. It was huge. I have one picture, I think I was in 7th grade, and it really, I looked like I had freckles with no color. They were just pocks. It was just pimples everywhere. It was horrible. I hated the fact that I had acne. And the acne would not leave. It was just, and when I scratched it, it would make scratches. And it wasn't until maybe 10 years or so after college that I noticed that it was going away. It wasn't itchy like it had been. And then I was able to find a face regimen. I actually used turmeric soap. I got it from CHE Naturals. CHE Naturals. It's Black owned. I found them last year during the pandemic. And I believe they're in Philadelphia. And I ordered, she had a pack of, you get 3 things of the soap. And then she has this moisturizing, and I say she, it's a family, but it's a moisturizing cream. I can't remember what was in that, but I use that on my face. Now I have greasy skin, which is why I had all them darn pimples. It was horrible. But needless to say, as I took a look at myself, there were things about me that I didn't necessarily like. And the acne thing was big because it left, like I said, it was scratched. My skin was just horrible. And for the longest time, I was not able to wear makeup because it would make my skin itch even more. Makeup has gotten better over the years. So I was able to find good products. It eventually went away. Um, I have I have grown to appreciate my skin, my face, um, and I looked at that. Then I took a look at my body. Now, you see, the queen is not what I would call slender, never have been, even at my smallest. But I realized that there were good things about how I'm built. It is good to be curvy. It just is. It's good to be curvy. It's good to be thick. So, guys who are thick, it's good to be you. Guys who are slender, it's good to be you. Women who are thick and curvy, it is good to be you. Why is it good to be you? Think about the best outfit that you wear that fits you the nicest. Some people, slender people, don't need to wear knit. They don't need things to conform their body. They need things to create form or to create curve. For those of us who already have the curves, all we need is items that will smooth things out. And that's what I love getting. I love anything with stretch in it. I really push those kind of clothes. Don't wear a whole lot of billowing. I remember back in the day, the muumuu was hot. I don't do the muumuu. Can't do the muumuu. I've seen people wear them, and they look good for some people, especially tall people. Tall people can get away with billowing kind of clothing. I'm short. I'm 5'2.5". I don't know where the half came from. I was told when I went to the doctor last year, no, about 3 years ago, I went to the doctor and they said, "Oh, you're 5'2.5". I said, "Half? Where'd that come from? I got a half?" Yes. Yeah. I'm happy for that half. Yeah, because I've always been short. I got to 5'2" when I was 12 and didn't go nowhere until I saw that half. I got that half. That's all right. I was happy about that half. So that is the thing. That is part of self-talk, is looking at yourself, not so much to fuss at yourself for your size or for your, for your size or for your skin or for any of the lack that you see thanks to Hollywood and a lot of the celebrity that focuses more on perfection than on just the reality of who you are. I have 2 sons. They're basically grown at this point. But this having children added weight. Not only did it add weight, but it changed the size of my feet. I wore 7.5s when I was younger. By the time I had my second child, I was wearing 8.5, 9. So now I wear 8.5, 9. That's what I wear. And if I lose a little bit more weight, then I can wear the 8s. But 7.5, 7, nah, I can't do that anymore. And I'm okay with that because I'm 55. Yeah, I'm 55. And I'm okay with being a little heavier. Yeah, I need to move some more, and I'm working on that. Being a little heavier, having feet a little bigger. My skin is much better than my times as a younger person. So, but the biggest thing I think that has happened is the way that I talk to myself now, the way that I react to situations, especially in going through a restoration. When going through a restoration, it's important to take the time to rest your mind, not worrying about everything that's going on, everything that has ended, the possibilities, or wondering what is to come, leaving that alone. Just rest on it. Rest on the fact that you are being restored. Rest on the fact that it is going to be okay. You're going to make it. I never would have believed anyone if they had said that I would be doing this show. I never would have believed them because I didn't think about it. But I recognize that between this and singing, this is me. This is what I love to do. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is when we're doing self-talk, it's really important for you to develop a way to speak to yourself, especially when you wake up in the morning. I remember one day I woke up, I think it was earlier this week. I woke up and I said, wow, I don't feel good. And then I said, I really don't feel good. And it wasn't physical so much. It was more mental. Didn't feel like it was going to be a good day. So I got up. I said, well, I'm going to do my couple hours at the salon. And then I'll just go back home. So I get to the car and I have the alarm set for when it's time for me to leave. So I got in the car and the alarm went off. I went to look for my phone because I wear the Apple Watch. Went to look for my phone, could not find my phone. Now, understand, if the watch is going and you hear the alarm, that means the phone is somewhere in the car. But in my mind, I couldn't find the phone where it was, where I normally put it. So I got out of the car, went into the house, and went through my room, went through all different parts where I thought I had been that morning. Now, I already said I wasn't feeling good. So this was not helping at all. So I wasted probably 15 or so minutes. This means I was going to be late. So I drove down the road and then I said, well, there's one more place that I didn't look. One more place. And I drove back to the house. By this time, I was 15 minutes late. Went upstairs, went through my recliner. I had a recliner. Wasn't in there. I was like, you know what? I don't know where it is. And, you know, my phone has my communication. It has my bank information. It has my calendar with my scheduling. It has my notes that I have taken all in my phone. I was like, okay, I gotta go work. I mean, I'm late, but I'm gonna go. So I went to work and I told my guys, the barbers and my boss, I don't know where my phone is. So one of the clients said, well, is that an Apple Watch? Because, you know, all you need to do is click on this thing, push that button, and it'll beep. The phone will beep. And I said, well, no, I ain't know that. I mean, I've had the watch for almost a year, but I don't know really how to use it. How many things do you get that you never really learn how to use? So think about it this way. If you're a Christian, why is it that you spend so much time worrying about things in your life when God has already come through for you in the past? Why is that? You forget about what God has done for you. You forget about it, you move on, and you start moaning, groaning, and praying and crying all over again, either over the same thing or over something else. So I didn't really cry or moan or groan, but my feelings were kind of hurt that I couldn't find it. And I kept saying, I know it's somewhere nearby, because every time I tried to use my watch, it worked. I'm on the road, and I took the time to stop and text my boss with my watch. You can't do that if the phone isn't nearby. But because I didn't know a lot about the watch, I wasn't able to get its full usefulness. If you don't continue to pray, if you don't continue to read Bible, any other kind of motivational, God-fearing kind of words, if you don't do that, then you will continue to worry. You will continue to distrust that the God you serve is there for you and will take care of it, so you can just relax. So I found out the information about this watch. When it was time for me to leave, I said, all right, y'all, good to see you. I'll see you in 2 days, because I work every other day. So I get to the car. I pick up my watch. I pull it to the little alert thingy, and I push where it is, and I immediately hear the beep, 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 beep. And it was behind me. That phone had fallen somehow and slid under the driver's seat on the side that I did not look. It was the only other place that it could have been that it ended up being. And I literally just got out from the driver's side and looked through the window, and my phone was right there. So if you use what you know, if you find out how to use what you have, it will always come through. Always come through. Isn't that a blessing? Yeah. So yeah, I did. I picked up the phone, took it back to the salon, and I showed the guys, because I wanted to thank the guy, that the client who had told me how to use my watch to find my phone. I wanted to thank him. That kind of reminds me of, you remember the story of the man that was blind, and Jesus was walking with his disciples, and the man said, Lord, will you give me my sight? And Jesus said, there you go, poof. And he ended up, that's not how it happened, but that's what I'm saying. He ended up with his sight back. So he's telling the people around him, look, I can see. And he went back to Jesus. He said, Jesus, please let me come with you. He was like, nah, you going home with your people, and, don't tell anybody, don't say anything. But you know exactly what he did. He turned around and ran, telling everybody about what Jesus had done for him. You can't stop. When it comes to thanking someone for what they have done for you, you've got to be grateful for them, and you need to let them know that you are grateful for what they have done for you. You owe them that because they have given you. It could have been this guy wasn't thinking nothing of it. He probably, it didn't even faze him. He was getting his hair cut. But because he took the time to show me, he showed me exactly how to do it on his watch. And I was like, well, yeah, I've seen that, but I didn't know what it was for. I didn't know that it was that easy to do. So, anyway, we can learn. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always learn something. I learned so much over the time that I worked on my doctorate, which I stopped working on my doctorate because truthfully, where I am in this space, this is really what I'd rather do. I know I'm a good teacher. I know I'm a great teacher. I understand that. But I also know that I'm a creative person and I want more creativity, the ability to reach out to more people. And that is what this is giving me the opportunity to do. And it's so exciting. I can't wait to meet some of you who have, or all of you who have taken the time to watch. I want to meet you so I can thank you because you don't know what it has done for me to be able to get on here and just talk to you. It's been a blessing. There's some things that I really want to bring to you and some people that I want to bring to you as well. And that'll come within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully soon I'll have an artist who is a preacher who found her creativity in painting. Have you ever thought about being creative? Are you creative? Do you like creativity? Or are you more structured in your view of things? Like, I love to sew, cook. I do a little bit of painting. I draw a little bit, teeny tiny bit, but I love the idea of creativity, using your hands to create. And I love singing. At some point, I'll probably do something on here for you all, but I hadn't really thought about it. So that's one of the things that I want to talk about is creativity. What is it that you do that is creative? What is it that you watch that is creative? I love watching HGTV. I got on Discovery Plus, I think is what it's called. And they have a couple of shows. There's one called Home something. Husband and wife from Mississippi. Home Time? That sounds right. I don't know. But they do a show about restoring houses in Mississippi. Wouldn't it be nice if someone did this in Baltimore? Got through and started working on these homes, because every time I drive through Baltimore, I see neighborhoods that, while they're run down, the homes are just beautiful. And all they need is a little bit of love and care. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see. But that would take a level of creativity. And so we need to find who that person is. Who knows? Might be me. I don't know. So that's another part of self-talk and self-care. So we didn't really talk about self-care too much. But self-care can be as simple as a cup of tea or some other um, drink. For some people, it's water, that you can just sit and sip and either watch something or read something, or Audible. If you use Audible, that is um, recorded books, and you can listen to them on an app. You can use an app. I've used Audible for a few years now for different books, and it's really helpful, especially when you're driving and you just need to listen to something as you're driving. You want to listen to something. It's a good thing to listen to. But if you are not a reader, it's really good because you can listen to someone else reading it. So that's really good. Another thing about self care is finding that thing that gives you peace, that relaxes you. That I found that when I came back, I wanted there to be a spot in my room that I could sit and relax, so I wouldn't be on my bed all the time. I didn't have a chair. I had a chair to my desk, but I wanted a chair, like a recliner. And so I found one at a thrift store. It's somewhere in Baltimore. I'm still learning the area. Yes, I've lived in Maryland all my life, but I've only been to certain sections of Baltimore. And this particular section that I went to, because I found it on my GPS, I had never seen it before. And so I drove through, found a recliner, and I love that chair. So when I get home, I will make any kind of tea. I mean, we're a tea family. So I can make all different kinds of tea and get the tea, sit in my chair, and I'll watch either HGTV or I'll watch some kind of comedy, because I'm not really a drama person, because that's just more stress. I have enough drama in my life. I like watching fun stuff, lighthearted stuff. So I'll watch videos from way back in the day, different programs and things. And I'll sit in my chair and I'll lean it back. And that's my form of self-care every single day that I do. I know that some people will take long hot baths. I don't know. I have to figure that out. I have to work on that. But anything that you can do that gives you peace. This past weekend, I went with some sister friends to a vineyard in Virginia. And one of my sisters cooked all the food, and it was really not a whole lot of cooking. Some chicken, some beef, it was pita you put in, and had some fruit and cookies and crackers and cheese, and very light stuff. Water, some had wine. And we just sat out and we were eating and we were talking. We're out in the sun. Sometimes vitamin D can be the best self-care you can do. Just sitting in a chair somewhere outside. We have a deck that I have not been on since I moved back. I'm going to change that, because vitamin D is very important. Vitamin D is actually very important for COVID as well. So if you haven't gotten vitamin D pills, or I usually get the vitamin D syrup or oil, or it's a liquid form. It's a liquid dropper. You just drop a couple of drops on your tongue and swallow it down. It tastes a little, it doesn't have a taste. So because of that, when it gets on your tongue and has no taste and it's a little thick, it's a little, but it works. So vitamin D in any form is always good. It's always good. And yes, we do tan. Yes, we do sunburn as well. So be careful with that. But the vitamin D is really important. So spend your time outside. Walking is also another form of self-care. Walking is so valuable to the body. You all need to remember that. Walking is important. I am a gym person. I'm a gym rat. I love working out. I'm going to start probably tomorrow working out. And my plan is, because I started my membership back up, my plan is to get back to, I did 5 days a week at one point. That's my plan, is to get back to 5 days a week, because I really love it. I love the way it makes me feel. I feel really good after I have worked out. It just makes you feel strong, makes you feel positive, gives you endorphins. If you ever watched, now I can't remember the name of the show. I mean, the movie. It was, I can't remember the name of the movie. Anyway, she was talking about endorphins. And it was a silly little line. It was talking about a person. She was a law intern, and the lawyer that she was working for was talking about a person who had killed her. They said she killed her husband. And the law intern knew who she was because she was from her sorority in college. And she said that this person was an exercise celebrity. And she said she exercises. And exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. I didn't think about that when I first saw that movie. But it's absolutely true. When you exercise, it makes you feel good. I don't think I've ever seen anyone exercise and stay mad. You might get upset because you out of shape. You might get upset because you feeling the pain of exercise. But the reality is, exercise makes you happy. It really does. And things as simple as walking. When my father died in 2007, and he and my mother had been married for over 40 years. So I was fearful that she would go the same year. She went to a doctor, Dr. Teddy Watkins, who told her, I want you to walk every day. We are in 2021, and she walks between 2 and 5 miles when she's able to. She's 81 years old, and she still drives by herself. She takes care of things that she wants to take care of in the house. She is very active. And I know for sure that part of the reason is because she walked every single day. I would say the first 5 years, she was walking every single day. She would we live near the community college, Prince George's Community College. And she would go there every day and walk, just walk. And she was a beast when it came to walking. Now, since of course we can't walk through the community college anymore. She walks in the neighborhood, and she's still walking, and she's still doing it at her age. She's doing really, really well. Yeah, she walks better than me. And she's 25 years older than me. Yeah, I gotta get back at that. I gotta get better. I will get better. Now it's on recording. So now I have witnesses. And I will get better for sure. So I am saying, and this is what I'm saying, number one, for sure. It is very important that you see the value in you. You might not even think that half of the things that you do are valuable, but they are. Something as simple as a smile is important. There was a time in my life when smiles were difficult to come by because I could not see the happiness of life. I saw the drudgery of life. Life was a drudgery for me for a long time. And truthfully, I did not find my value. I didn't see the power in finding and knowing my value. And it took actually just deciding to find making that decision to say, yes, I'm valuable. Yes, there are things about me that are really good. I don't care what you have gone through. I don't care what failures you have made. There is value in you. You just need to figure out what it is. You just need to accept that, yes, you are valued. It doesn't matter who has rejected you. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you find your value. You are valuable. It can be as simple as saying hi. It can be as simple as listening to someone. You know how valuable that is? That ability to listen. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. I really had to come to grips with that because I always felt like if I didn't, then they wouldn't believe that I was valuable because I couldn't show how acceptable I was. I couldn't validate myself. I couldn't personally validate myself. Yeah, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. So now I don't do that because I see my value and I see that life has meaning. And I see that there are things beyond what I originally thought I would be doing at this point. What I'm doing now has so much value. I haven't even seen all of it yet. And for me, that's pretty exciting. That's really exciting when I think about it. So I had actually put down something to read in my phone. Hasn't been acting right. And like I said, that's where I had my notes. So I'm not going to worry about it because it's not working for me right now. and I can't really worry about it. But I will say this. It is so important for you to recognize the value in you, that life is life. Life is life. Life is life. Life is life. It is what it is. Do not worry yourself over what you don't see yet. It's coming. It's going to be there, and you're going to be okay. I can't wait to see y'all next week. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful week. And we will see you next time at the Queen's Journey. God's bless you.